Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Dr. Nate Noble. I'm a developmental behavioral pediatrician and clinical geneticist, and I'm the medical director of the Developmental Center here at Blank Children's Hospital. If you're watching this video, your family has been referred for an evaluation, and we're making this content so that you know what to expect and how to prepare. In this video, we are going to be covering the following things. Number one, how to prepare for your visit. Number two, what to bring to the visit. Number three, when to come. Number four, where to go. Number five, what to expect in your visit. And number six, what happens next. Let's begin with how to prepare for your visit. First of all, let me say that we're excited to meet you and your family. And in preparation for us to do the very best job that we can to assess your child, it's important that we send you paperwork that you complete and return to us at your earliest convenience. This paperwork provides us with necessary background information that we can use to streamline your visit. Another great way to prepare is to enroll in MyChart. MyChart is an online service that allows you access to your child's medical records through Unity Point Health. It also allows you to pre-populate with some important information like your insurance card and your identification, which will allow you to easily access pertinent documents from your visit in the future. Access to MyChart can be found by visiting us on the web at unitypoint.org. Please know that in order to ensure that you remember your visit, we will send you an automated text 48 hours in advance of your visit, and we will also follow up with an automated phone call 24 hours from the specified visit date to ensure that if it slips off your calendar, you're reminded of this visit. If you're like me, you've got children and you have to think ahead in regards to how to keep them happy when you're waiting or transitioning or in an exam room. So please know that it's okay to bring food and drink. We just ask that you don't eat or drink in the waiting area where we have other patients who are coming in and out. Once you get into the exam room and we're working through the assessment, sometimes it's good to take a break. It's not wrong to have food and drink in those moments, but we just ask again that you don't drink or eat in the common areas of the clinic. But it's also a good idea to bring some comfort items, things that are familiar and remind your child of safety and comfort. It is important also to know that while we value these things in the clinic, it's important that they're not distracting, that they don't light up or make noises or detract from the exam that we're trying to conduct. Please know that if additional toys are needed for your child, we have many to choose from here at the clinic. If something goes wrong in your preparation to attend your appointment or while you're on the way to your clinic visit, please give us a call at 515-224-3399 and let us know about your delay. If you're traveling from a great distance, please know that we will do our very best to see you that day and accommodate your schedule as best we're able, but it may mean that you have to wait to the end of the day. So please let us know in advance so that we can determine if we can accommodate the change in schedule. Next up, let's talk about who to bring to the clinic. First and foremost, bring the child to be assessed. I've been doing this for 20 years. You would be surprised. People forget that sometimes. The next people to bring are the people who can make medical decisions, whether they're guardians or the legal parents of this child. We need to know that we can proceed with the clinical evaluation. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that the individual presenting with the child has the ability to make medical decisions. If you're not sure, call our office in advance so that we can ensure that the appropriate people are present at the time of the evaluation. And lastly, it's important that you understand that we will speak to the individuals who bring the child to the clinic. As much as we want to honor split families and we want to account for individuals who are not able to make it to the appointment, we will not recount the visit to an individual who is unable to be present at the time of the evaluation. We will send out documents. They will be available to the family to share as they see fit, but we will not go back over a visit on the phone with an individual who was unable to be present at the time of the assessment. Next up, let's talk about when to come. This is an important one because we see multiple patients throughout the course of a day. We understand that you've been on our wait list for a very long time, but we do ask that you show up 15 minutes before your scheduled appointment. Please don't show up right at the time that you're scheduled to be seen, because that eats into the time that we're able to spend in the room assessing you. Showing up 15 minutes early allows us to register you with our front desk staff, make sure that all the necessary documents are in place, take you and your child back, get the necessary information such as height, weight, and vitals, place you into the room. That way, at the scheduled time of the appointment, we're able to begin as best we're able to ensure that we have the necessary time to make these critical decisions. And again, please know that we are not in the business of turning people away. If you're running late, call us ahead of time at 515-224-3399 and tell us your situation, and we will do our very best to accommodate. Next up, let's talk about where to go. Where are you going for this evaluation? I'm going to give you the address first. We are located at 4055 Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines, Iowa, 50266. It is a big, beautiful building located on Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines. It has a sparkly top. It's hard to miss. It's gorgeous. There are parking lots in the front of the building and at the back of the building, all designed for you to easily get into our facility. There's no parking ramps. There's no parking attendants. It's meant to be easy with multiple handicap accessible spots. When you get to our facility, know that the Developmental Center is located on the second floor. There's two ways to get up there. There's a beautiful staircase, which if your child was a walker and they prefer the steps, that's an easy way to get up. But there's also an elevator that's located on the first floor that will take you to the second floor. There's only 2 floors in the building, so you just get in and push 2. Once you get to the second floor, you'll make your way to the check-in counter where you will meet our experienced specialists who will ensure that you are in the right place at the right time. They'll take your insurance information, they will take your identification if required, and they will check you in, sending us a message that you are here and ready to be seen. Again, if you use my chart, which we talked about earlier, and you put in the necessary information ahead of time, the check-in process will go much smoother. After you've checked in, you're free to stay in the lobby, or you can move to one of our sensory rooms where there's different devices to entertain your child or keep them occupied while you wait to be seen. There's also a quiet room with a door that shuts. We also have water fountains in our waiting area and multiple private bathrooms, all with changing tables, one of which has pediatric-sized toilets to make things easier for you. Now let's talk about what to expect with the visit itself. As I've said earlier, clinics, as much as we try, often run behind because it's difficult for people to show up on time. People hit snags, different things occur, or sometimes visits go long because a situation requires a little bit more time and attention. So please be patient and be prepared for an unexpected delay. After you've been checked in and it's time to start your visit, a nurse will come and call your name in the waiting room, bringing you and your family back. Before you are seen by your provider, you will get your vitals. So this is height, weight, head circumference, blood pressure, and pulse. Please know that if your child is unable to comply with these measures, that's okay. We can still move forward without this information. It just gives us a better sense of your child's overall health and well-being so that we can make the most accurate and beneficial recommendations. As soon as your vitals are completed, you'll be put into an exam room, and our exam rooms at the Developmental Center are large. There's several places to sit in order for people to be comfortable. The lights in the exam rooms adjust. If your child is activated by bright lights and you want to make them softer, it's very easy for us to do that with the touch of a button. In the exam room, we have several areas of storage, which are very tempting for your child to try and open, but please know that we endeavor to make sure that all of those things are locked. Your child is free to explore the room and that there's nothing in there that they're going to be able to open or get into easily. When your provider enters the room, understand that from that moment, there's another 60 to 90 minutes of evaluation remaining. During the time of an evaluation, you'll be seen by any number of our multiple providers in the clinic. Oftentimes, our evaluations can look like play, where we're introducing various objects to your child, we're blowing some bubbles, we're showing them different things, we might be requesting certain things of them. It's very important when we go through this that you let your child speak for themselves. If they're able to use words to communicate, maybe they're going to use a sign, maybe they're going to turn, maybe they're going to point, maybe they're not going to respond to us. That's okay. Please remember, we are here to test your child's skills and abilities, not yours. So as tempting as it is for you to interject and answer the question, please let us have that time with your child so we can get a clear sense of where their skills and abilities lie. After we've gathered some information from playing or interacting with your child, we will then proceed to ask you multiple questions, some of which you've provided in some way, shape, or form, and we need clarity on. But these questions are things like the timing of your concerns, who's involved in the care of your child, how is your child's general health and wellness, what subspecialty providers does your child see, and what kind of family history do you have? After we get our questions answered, we will then proceed with a physical examination. Now, not every provider that you will see will conduct a physical exam, but some of them will, and that physical exam will be as brief as necessary in order to give us the information that we need. We don't need to take off all your child's clothes. We don't need to look in their ears. We will make this as painless as possible, but we do need to lay hands on the child to ensure we're not missing anything. After all of these steps have occurred, we will sit down with you and provide you our assessment. Please know that in our clinic visit, we endeavor to tell you what we think is going on that day. So if you've come for answers, we endeavor to provide them to you that day. Sometimes additional information is required and we need additional subspecialty care or assessments in order to fill in the gaps to help us better understand your child's strengths and weaknesses. But for the most part, you will leave that day with an accurate understanding of our assessment. After we've shared with you our assessment, we will enter into the planning portion of your visit, which I would argue is the most important part of your visit. While so many people want to know what their child has, what is the diagnosis, what we are most passionate about here at the Blank Developmental Center is not what your child has as much as what we're going to do about what your child has. This is the plan. During the planning portion, we will share with you information about the diagnosis. There may be links that we share, there may be QR codes that we share, there may be additional YouTube videos that we point you to try and fill in the gaps and give you more information so that you know what your next steps look like locally. We'll also talk about referrals. Some of the referrals we may conduct, such as referrals to physical, occupational, and speech therapy, the area education agency, or early intervention services. Sometimes we'll refer you to psychology or potentially pulmonology or gastroenterology. It all depends on what we see that day, but know that we may recommend referrals be made by your primary care provider, or we may make those referrals ourselves. We may also discuss in the planning portion the potential need for medications. Please know that no one here wants to put your child on a medication. That is not our goal. But some children struggle with sleep and aggression and transition difficulties or focus and attention, and it becomes such a problematic issue that an intervention is needed or should be discussed. So there may be a portion of your visit where we discuss with you the possibility of using a medication to address some of these difficulties. That does not mean that a medication needs to be prescribed, but if a medication needs to be discussed, we will do so. Sometimes in the planning portion, additional health-related information is needed, and this could include things like imaging studies, like an X-ray or an MRI. It may include blood work. It also could include genetic testing, depending on the situation. And as we discuss our assessment and plan with you during that day, please know that you do not need to remember everything. We are going to write all of it down, and it will be available to you either through the portal, which is the quickest way to get access to this information, and we will also mail this information both to your family home and the referring provider. So it's readily available to you as soon as possible. So don't feel obligated to write everything down that we're telling you. We will take care of that for you. Lastly, let's conclude our time by discussing what happens next. You've completed your visit, you've gone through all these steps, and now you're going home. What happens next? The first thing to understand is that there may be a time when we as a clinic will see you back. Our goal in expediting care for children across the state of Iowa is to do our very best to coordinate that care locally with your primary care provider. If there's medications, if there's referrals, we are happy to inform your primary care team as to what's needed and rely on them to assist us in prescribing those things or making those referrals. There are times when we need to get involved and do those things, but the primary goal is follow up with your primary care provider. There may be times when you come back to see us in our clinic as well, depending on the nature of the things that were discussed and if we are doing anything and if any of our providers are managing things like medications or following up on testing results. It's also important to know that after you've had time to think about the things that you've learned during our visit, you may have additional questions. You can also reach us through the portal with those questions. You can reach out to us by phone as well with the number that was shared earlier, or you can schedule a follow-up visit to discuss things more in depth. I sincerely hope that this has been helpful for you as we prepare to see you. Please know that everyone in this clinic is excited to meet you and your family. We want to give you the information that you deserve. We want to provide it to you in a timely manner, and we are so thankful that you have chosen us to be a part of your child's healthcare team and their future development.